Hi there, LaunchDeck here.
I'm Vlad, here with Arthur, and we're founders of LaunchDeck. Do you hate presentations?
Well, I don't know about them, but according to Jeff Bezos, presentations should be banned from Amazon, and it is a very bad way of translating your ideas.
And the media backs it with a lot of statements that presentations are an outdated way of communicating.
But the question is why? Well, first of all, in our experience, in startup world, when you are communicating with your potential investor, a presentation is a must-have for you to use. Secondly, nowadays in business, you still use presentations to sell your product, to engage with your partners, etc. At last, we want to dive deep in this material and figure out the key moments that the audience who watch presentations hate, and the speakers who are actually presenting their material, what do they hate about presentations.
We'll also give a couple of tips that will make the presentation process less painful for you as a speaker and your audience.
So let's start with our fellow speakers. Probably the most painful part of presenting your idea is to understand how to present every piece of content that you have and that you want to tell your audience. You have a dissertation that you are going to present in the university, you have a wonderful startup idea that you described in millions and millions of words in a Word document, and you want to make a presentation. Or you are getting your product launch and you want to mention every feature and every aspect of your solution, and this is quite overwhelming.
And when you finally gather all of your materials, compress it into a nice and concise presentation, then you're struck with the problem of getting the attention of your audience. To make a room of people focus on your presentation and engage them in the process is a really hard task, and a lot of speakers are struggling with this.
Hence, we're moving forward to the last point here, and this is the biggest fear of public speaking. We hate it, you hate it, everybody do so. In any case, the process of speaking with your audience is a very crucial part of the presentation process. But the skill comes with experience, and to get there, you need to present, and present again. Anyhow, these are the struggling points from the speaker's perspective. But we are going to talk about more what audience struggles while watching the presentation. And the tips how to improve it from the perspective of the audience will utmostly help the speaker as well.
There are three aspects of presentations that audience hates: the design, content, and ultimately the speaker himself.
Well, the design part is the part you are all familiar with. I'm pretty sure you've heard that you have a lot of text on your slides, that you probably overwhelmed your slides with colors, and more or less you use some of the infographics that nobody gets. Or maybe you're thinking that you are one piece of a comedian with every slide filled with jokes and memes that you think are absolutely hilarious. No, they're not, frankly saying. And lastly, every business has its own brand guidelines and design style, and it serves a certain purpose. It helps you with the consistency of your design, because there are lots of cases when your presentation consists of several templates from different design styles, and this makes an overall view of your presentation looks like a peacock, which is, well, not so beautiful, and it won't be received well by your audience.
As for content, a lot of speakers like to do presentations that are 20, 30 or even more slides long, and this is a bad habit because the audience will get bored very quickly, and you need everything in your presentation to grab attention. If you have 30 slides, then the attention of your audience is divided by these 30 slides, and this is a bad thing. But on the other hand, there are a lot of speakers that want to make short presentations by putting a lot of content on each slide. This leads to not one idea per slide, but 2, 3 or million ideas per slide, and ultimately the audience cannot focus on particular points and messages that you want to convey. Speaking of irrelevant information, there are a lot of presentations that have tons of infographics that are completely meaningless. Graphs, charts, and tables do not make you a professor, and moreover damage the readability of the presentation.
Alright then, you are a design genius, you worked out every aspect of your content. So the question is, why everybody hates you as a speaker? Well, let's talk some common sense here. First of all, 99% of speakers are reading from their slides. And this is what devastates your presentation as a process from the first minute. On the other hand, you can know your material very well and be very passionate and excited about it while talking. That makes you speak about 1,000 words per minute, which doesn't really help the audience to understand what you are talking about. So, speaking too fast, not a very good idea as well. Lastly, what we usually stumble upon is that the speaker, startup owner for instance, doesn't really speak the same language as the audience. For instance, you are having a startup in deep tech and you know every aspect of it. However, you are trying to speak speeding facts and complex terms, which doesn't really relate with the audience. Therefore, you're losing the connection with your audience. And that basically breaks the whole presentation flow. Well, that sums it up, and frankly, I'm getting now why people do hate presentations so much, but there is a way to make it better, right?
Yeah, there are a couple of tips that can help you make yourself and your audience love the presentation process. So the first thing that you can do is to be consistent in your design and choose a style that suits your presentation purpose, your industry, and your brand.
The second thing you probably want to consider doing is the homework. Prepare the material you're going to present. Write a storyline. Choose one message per each slide, and finally make it 10 to 20 slides tops.
Then choose a comfortable pace for your speech. Do lots of trial presentations with your friends, colleagues, and other people. Flag the moments where your audience attention may be lost and then shoot a wake-up fact right after to engage them.
If you are presenting a complex solution, show the data that would make sense to the audience. Not too obvious, but close to it. Highlight the conclusions and key messages before diving deeper into the topic.
Be straight to the point. Keep your idea in focus from the very beginning to the very end of your presentation. To do so, you can start and finish your speech with an executive summary.
We hope that these hints will make you and the audience love presentations and will really help you to make it less painful and a more convenient, wonderful and beautiful instrument to convey your messages, present your ideas, and, well, reach your final goals.
We would love to learn more about what you hate about presentations. Feel free to share your thoughts below. If you like this type of content, give it a thumbs up and follow our channel for future videos.
See ya!